Have you ever felt that he's giving you signals, but he's not saying anything? That strange tension in the air, that eye contact that lasts a bit too long, or those random messages that seem to appear just when you've almost forgotten about him. Sometimes men won't say it directly, but deep down they want you to take the first step. And here's what most women don't realize. When a man wants you to take the initiative, he'll rarely admit it. His ego won't let him. So instead, he'll communicate it in ways that are subtle, confusing, and often make you doubt yourself. He'll act calm, but his behavior will betray what he really feels. The truth is, many women lose incredible opportunities because they wait for a man to make a move. But what if he's waiting for you? What if his silence isn't disinterest, but hesitation? A lot of men don't take the first step for one simple reason: fear of rejection. Even the most confident guy can freeze when he genuinely likes a woman. He'll start overthinking everything, what to say, how to act if he's being too obvious. And instead of risking it, he waits for a sign from you. He waits for permission. And that's where everything changes. Because when you understand these subtle signals, you realize that sometimes taking the initiative doesn't mean chasing, it means opening the door. It's not about doing his part for him, it's about showing that it's safe for him to do his. You see, a man who wants you but doesn't act on it is caught between desire and pride. He doesn't want to seem weak, but he also doesn't want to lose you. So he'll behave in ways that reveal more than his words ever could. He'll appear casual, but he's actually testing you to see if you feel the same, if you'll respond, if you'll make that first move. And when you recognize those moments, you take control of the story. Because there's a huge difference between being desperate and being emotionally intelligent. The desperate woman chases. The intelligent one reads the signals and responds with confidence. That's what today's video is about. The 3 signs that he wants you to take the initiative right now. By the end, you'll understand the psychology behind these behaviors, what they mean, why he does them, and how to act without losing your value or your mystery. Because yes, there are moments when taking the initiative doesn't make you less feminine. It makes you unforgettable. It shows emotional maturity, confidence, and awareness. It's the kind of move that makes a man realize that you're not like anyone else he's ever met. So if you've been wondering why he keeps coming close and then pulling away, why he seems interested but doesn't move forward, or why he's always around but never says what he really feels, pay attention. You're about to discover the 3 psychological signs that reveal when he wants you to act, but his pride won't let him say it out loud. Let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates this dynamic. A friend of mine, let's call her Laura, once told me about a man she met at work. His name was Daniel. They weren't close at first, just polite co-workers who exchanged a few smiles and casual comments during the day. But over time, something started to change. Every time she walked into a room, he'd look up. He'd find a way to start a conversation even when there wasn't much to say. And whenever she mentioned another man, even just as a friend, he'd suddenly get quiet, change the subject, or joke in a way that didn't feel like a joke at all. Laura told me she could feel something there, but she didn't want to assume anything. "He's so calm," she said. "He never flirts, never crosses any line, but it's like his eyes say everything he doesn't." And she was right. Daniel liked her, more than he wanted to admit. But like so many men, he hid it behind subtle gestures. He'd compliment her in small ways, but never directly. He'd linger around her desk a few extra minutes, but pretend he was just finishing up some task. He'd send her memes late at night, the kind that say nothing but actually say everything. Still, he never made a move. Weeks passed, then months, and Laura started to believe she'd made it all up in her head. Until one day, during a team dinner, she caught him looking at her, the kind of look that only lasts a few seconds but says more than 1,000 words. It was admiration, longing, and fear, all mixed together. That night, she decided to do something small. She didn't confess her feelings. She didn't flirt openly. She simply texted him after the dinner, "Hey, it was nice sitting next to you tonight." And that one message broke the wall. He replied instantly. The next day, he was different, confident, expressive, open. He started inviting her for coffee, walking her to her car, and within a week he asked her out. Later, Daniel admitted something that shocked her. He said, "I liked you from the start. I just didn't want to ruin things. I thought you'd reject me, or that maybe you only saw me as a co-worker." Laura laughed and said, "And all this time I thought you weren't interested." This story isn't rare. In fact, it happens all the time. A man who seems cold is often just scared. A man who seems distant might be testing your reaction, waiting for any signal that tells him it's safe to approach. What many women don't see is that men are just as vulnerable when they truly like someone. They may not show it the same way, but the fear of being rejected or misreading your interest hits them just as hard. And that's why stories like Laura's are so powerful, because they remind you that not every silence means disinterest. Sometimes silence means he's fighting himself. He's debating if it's worth the risk, if you'll think less of him, or if you even notice him the same way he notices you. The moment you show him, even in a subtle way, that you're open, his entire energy shifts. It's like you remove a weight he's been carrying, and suddenly, he becomes the confident man you always sensed he could be. So, the next time you find yourself wondering if he likes you but isn't saying anything, remember this: you might not need to do something big. Sometimes, all it takes is a small gesture, a glance, a comment, a reply that hints you're not just being polite. Because when a man wants you but is afraid to take the first step, your signal can become the green light he's been waiting for. Now, let's talk about the 3 psychological signs that reveal when a man actually wants you to take the initiative, even if he'll never admit it out loud. First sign: he creates moments of connection, but never takes them further. This one is subtle, yet powerful. You'll notice he always appears around you, maybe at the same cafe, the same social event, or always finds an excuse to text you. He asks personal questions. He remembers things you told him. He compliments your laugh or your energy. But when it comes to actually doing something about it, he freezes. He'll give you every opportunity to respond, to mirror his energy, to make the next move. But he never crosses that invisible line first. Why? Because he's protecting his ego. When a man truly likes you, he suddenly becomes cautious. He doesn't want to misread the situation or risk rejection, especially if you're someone he genuinely respects. So, what he does is simple. He'll open the door just enough for you to decide whether to walk in. He'll look for your reaction, your tone, your body language. He's silently asking, do you feel the same? And if you do, if you show interest with something as small as a smile, a touch, or a genuine compliment, he'll take that as permission to move forward. But if you don't give any sign, he'll retreat. Not because he lost interest, but because he took your silence as rejection. So when you notice a man who's always there, connecting, laughing, remembering the details but never making a real move, he's not being lazy. He's waiting for a signal that you want it too. Second sign: he flirts in a safe way, with humor or friendship. This one confuses a lot of women. You might think, he's just being nice, we're just friends. But deep down there's tension, that invisible chemistry that both of you feel but neither of you names. Men often use humor as emotional armor. It lets them express affection without the risk of being rejected. So instead of saying you look amazing today, he'll say something like, oh, wow, who are you trying to impress? It's playful, it's light, but underneath, there's truth. He'll make little jokes, tease you, find excuses to be near you, and when you respond positively, he'll lean in a little more. If you notice that his friendly jokes are starting to have an emotional tone, maybe he gets jealous when you talk about other men, or he compliments you and quickly laughs it off, that's a sign. He's testing your reaction. He wants to see if you'll take his words as a joke or if you'll respond in a way that lets him know you see him as more than a friend. It's his way of saying, I want this, but I need to know you do too. And here's the key. If you keep treating it as just friendship, he'll stay there. But if you gently mirror his energy, if you add warmth to your replies, hold eye contact longer, or give a compliment back, he'll feel safe enough to drop the mask and get real. Because men rarely flirt like that unless there's genuine attraction. When they're emotionally neutral, they don't need to joke about chemistry. They simply don't mention it. But when he keeps bringing it up, even as humor, it's because he wants you to notice. Third sign: his actions contradict his words. This is one of the most revealing signs, and also one of the hardest to read. He'll say things like, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I'm focusing on myself right now. But then, he acts completely differently. He'll text you every day, ask where you are, remember tiny details, and subtly make sure no other man gets too close. It's a contradiction, and it's not manipulation. Most of the time, it's fear. He says one thing to protect himself, but his actions keep betraying how he truly feels. He's emotionally invested. He just doesn't want to admit it until he knows it's mutual. You'll notice he'll look for reasons to keep you in his life. Small reasons. like asking your opinion on something trivial, or sending a random message just to start a conversation. He's not doing that out of boredom. He's doing it because you matter. Men often use logic to hide emotions they can't control. So when his words are calm but his behavior is intense, when he says, "I'm not sure what I want," but never really lets you drift away, it's because he does know what he wants. He just doesn't want to risk being the first to say it. If you notice this pattern, it's usually your cue that he's silently hoping you'll take that step. He's trying to tell you, "I want you, but I'm scared of losing control." And this is where many women misread the situation. They see mixed signals and assume confusion. But what's really happening is a quiet power struggle between desire and fear. When you understand these contradictions, when you read his actions instead of his words, you gain clarity. You stop waiting for him to confess and start recognizing that he already has, just not with words. So remember these 3 signs. When he's always near but never moves closer. When he flirts but hides behind jokes. When his words deny what his eyes keep saying. That's your answer. He doesn't want to play games. He wants connection. He just needs you to show him that it's safe to drop his guard. And when you do, you'll notice something magical. He'll step up. He'll start showing affection, consistency, and genuine effort. Not because you chased him, but because you understood him. Because you gave him what most women don't: emotional safety. When you ignore these signs, something powerful happens, and not in a good way. Because while you're sitting there overthinking if you should text him first, if you should smile back, or if you'll look too interested, he's reading your silence as rejection. And that's how most connections die. Not with an argument, not with a betrayal, but with silence. You see, men are far more sensitive to rejection than they'll ever admit. Even the most confident, emotionally strong man can be shattered by the idea that a woman he desires doesn't feel the same way. So the moment he senses that you're not reciprocating, or that you're indifferent, he'll emotionally shut down. At first, he'll tell himself he's fine. He'll act like it doesn't matter. He'll even convince himself he's not interested anymore. But deep down, he's disappointed. He's frustrated because he wanted to believe that maybe, this time, it could be different. When a man wants you to take the initiative, he's already given more than he's comfortable giving. He's opened small emotional doors, with his eyes, his jokes, his messages. But if nothing comes back, his pride takes control. And once pride takes over, he'll protect himself by withdrawing. You might start noticing subtle changes. The messages become shorter, the jokes stop, the tension fades. Not because he stopped caring, but because he convinced himself that caring was useless. And that's where many women make a painful mistake. They confuse his withdrawal with disinterest. They think, well, if he wanted me, he would have tried harder. But the truth is, he already did, just not in the way you expected. Men express vulnerability differently. They rarely use words. They use effort. When he pays attention, when he shows up, when he tries to make you laugh, those are his quiet ways of saying, "I care." If that effort isn't met halfway, he learns to stop showing it. And once a man suppresses those feelings, it's incredibly hard for him to reopen them. He'll move on, but not because he stopped feeling. He'll move on because he taught himself to. Because nothing hurts a man more than feeling unwanted by the one woman he truly wanted. Now let's look at this from another angle. What happens if you do take the initiative too late? If you wait until he's already detached, until he's told himself it's over? By then his emotions have already gone through a cycle, from hope to confusion to resignation. So when you finally decide to reach out, he's not the same man anymore. He's guarded, colder, skeptical, and even if he still feels something, he'll resist it. He'll think, now that I'm done caring, she finally cares. It becomes a reversal of power, and suddenly, the connection loses its original spark. Timing matters, not because love is a race, but because attraction lives in momentum. When two people are emotionally open at the same time, everything flows naturally. But when one hesitates for too long, the other starts to close off. So when you see those 3 signs, when his behavior screams, "I like you," even if his words don't, you have a window of opportunity. It's not about chasing him. It's about meeting him halfway before fear wins. Because fear always wins when communication doesn't happen. And when fear wins, attraction fades. You don't have to do anything dramatic. You don't have to confess or take control of the relationship. All it takes is a gesture that says, "I see you, you're safe with me." A small message, a genuine compliment, an invitation. something that breaks the pattern of silence and gives him the signal his heart has been waiting for. Because here's the truth: men don't fall for women who chase them, they fall for women who understand them. The ones who know how to read the unspoken language of connection, the language that exists in timing, tone, and energy. And when you show that awareness, you separate yourself from the rest. Because most women wait, waiting for proof, waiting for guarantees. But connection isn't built on guarantees. It's built on courage. The courage to act when the moment feels right, not when it feels safe. If you wait too long, that window closes. And once it does, he won't come back. Not because he stopped wanting you, but because his pride won't let him risk that pain again. That's the hidden truth about men that few people talk about. Once a man feels emotionally rejected, even by accident, he doesn't chase closure. He buries the feeling and keeps walking. So when you see the signs, act with confidence. Because sometimes the biggest mistake isn't saying too much. It's saying nothing when it mattered most. So what should you take away from all of this? That sometimes the most powerful thing a woman can do is not wait for clarity, but create it. Because the truth is, most relationships never start because someone didn't have the courage to take that one simple step. Not because the feelings weren't mutual, but because both people were too afraid of being the first to show them. A man who wants you to take the initiative is not weak. He's human. He's someone who's been hurt before, who's tired of pretending not to care, who's learned that vulnerability can be dangerous. And yet, even with all that fear, he still shows up in little ways, through glances, through humor, through consistency. Those small gestures are his quiet confessions. They're his way of saying, "I'm here. I just need to know it's safe to stay." And that's why taking the initiative isn't about chasing him. It's about meeting him halfway. It's about balance. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do enough to show that you feel the same. Maybe it's replying with a little more warmth. Maybe it's holding eye contact instead of looking away. Maybe it's sending that simple message that says, "I liked talking to you." It's not about lowering your standards. It's about raising your awareness. It's about understanding that confidence isn't only about waiting to be chosen. Sometimes, confidence means choosing first. And here's something to remember. When you take initiative from a place of calm and self-respect, you never lose your value. You increase it. Because you're showing emotional intelligence, maturity, and control over your own desires. Men notice that. A woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to express it in a graceful, subtle way is unforgettable. She doesn't come across as desperate. She comes across as grounded. And that energy, that calm confidence, is magnetic. So the next time you feel that silent connection, that tension that words can't explain, don't let fear paralyze you. Don't convince yourself that if he wanted you, he would do something. Ask yourself instead, what if he's just waiting for a sign? Because when you take that small step, when you show interest without losing your mystery, you might be giving him exactly what he needs to move toward you. And that's how beautiful, genuine connections begin. Remember, love doesn't always start with a grand gesture. Sometimes it starts with a look, a smile, or a few honest words said at the right moment. Moments that might seem small but can change everything. So if you've recognized these signs in someone, if you felt that quiet tension, that almost but not quite connection, don't let it fade into what could have been. You don't have to confess your heart. You just have to open the door wide enough for him to walk through. Because deep down, most men aren't looking for a perfect woman. They're looking for a safe space to be real. And when you offer that, with kindness, confidence, and authenticity, you become unforgettable. And now, I want you to think of one person who might fit what we talked about today. The one whose messages make you overthink, whose presence makes your heart race, but who never says what he truly feels. Ask yourself, and what would happen if I stopped waiting? Because maybe, just maybe, he's waiting for you to do exactly that, to take the initiative right now.